Hello everyone, and welcome to my Duel Today official news channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Polina complains about having to eat so healthily in the pub with Abe because all she wants is a bear claw. Although she is happy to have her iodine treatment coming up, she detests having to spend time alone apart from him. In the square, Johnny waits for Chanel and hands her the key to the Horton cabin. Today is the first day of their little honeymoon. She excuses herself to go to work. Though he knows it can wait, he smiles knowingly as she makes her way to the bakery. Ignoring EJ, Holly retreats into the DiMera living room to pout. He informs the teenager that doing drugs is something she must learn from. She pouts that she can't see Tate and accuses EJ of exaggerating the situation from the start. He is solely to blame. Kristen uses her phone to read about Stefan's arrest when she is outside the Salem Inn. How in the hell? In a desperate attempt to persuade Mr. Shin that he has things under control, EJ stalks about the square while talking on his phone. Kristen gets in the way. Why did her youngest brother write a narrative about it in the paper, and she had to wait to find out from the Spectator that one of her brothers had locked up her other brother? What is the current state of DiMera Enterprises? EJ tells her all will be all right and quickly leaves. EJ rushes past and Johnny stops him from a table. In addition to asking about Stefan, he informs his worried father that he would be staying in the cabin for a few days. EJ tells him to enjoy his honeymoon and not stress. He flees. Tripp tells Wendy in the park that returning to work made him feel normal again. Wendy is unsure of when she will complete it on her own. Tripp pulls out his boxing gloves from his duffel bag. He says, "You're going to punch me." He brings up the fact that exercising can assist her with her PTSD when she objects. As she indulges him, Wendy, a brown belt in Taekwondo, impresses Tripp with her strikes. Ava takes Clyde's call at the flat. He needs her to accomplish something. He threatens to reveal her role in the drug trade if she doesn't comply. Ava would sooner put her ass in jail than have another relationship with him. Clyde makes a threat to reveal to Harris his prison escape route. His only wish is that she locate his supplier and dealer book, which Gil concealed in the bistro. There is no other way to find him. She won't hear from him again if he moves his operation somewhere else after receiving it. She walks out after saying it's the last thing she will do for him. After learning that Johnny set up her staff to fill in for her, Chanel heads back to the square to see him. He tells her that they will only be gone as long as Polina is in isolation and that he is personally paying them time and half. They will return as soon as she leaves. Chanel is excited to spend time alone with the world's hottest husband while on board. She then gives Polina bear claws that are prepared with foods that are allowed on the diet. Holly is interrupted by Johnny when she is thinking about Tate at the estate. She tells him that she truly likes Tate, with whom she is clearly not in love, but that she is not allowed to visit him. She accuses herself of causing all the problems. Johnny tells her that in time, it will only be a terrible memory. Holly expresses her happiness for them as soon as he talks about his honeymoon. Someday she wishes to find what they have. Though he is sure she will, he begs her not to rush it. Rachel seeks Holly to play nail games as they used to when Johnny departs to pack. Following their manicures, Kristen sends Rachel to her room when she gets home. Then, furious at Holly for using drugs and allowing Tate to get away with it, she gives the order to remove Holly from her daughter. "That's enough," exclaims an EJ who is returning. He tells Kristen not to speak to Holly in that manner. After the siblings quarrel, Kristen storms out. EJ has Holly's back, and Holly is grateful. If Kristen causes her any more problems, he instructs her to let him know. Wendy takes a look at her phone when she and Tripp dash back to the apartment. She presents the Stefan article to Tripp. Tripp questions why Ava, who has joined them in the living room, isn't in jail as well. That Stefan felt horrible about what had happened to them is a lie. She declares that she is starting over, starting with a new employment and residence. Wendy and Tripp reminisce about exchanging vows in the beer tank when she jokes that newlyweds need their privacy. Will they make it official? Ava queries. They say maybe, but it's on the back burner for the time being. But Ava understands that they require their own place. Tripp later has a meeting in a hospital room with Abe and Paulina. Anxious Paulina spends a moment with Abe before heading to the room to swallow her radioactive tablet. He gives her a hug and a kiss before turning to go. Paulina sits on the bed by herself, sighing. Chanel is carried into the cabin by Johnny, where they anticipate being able to have as much fun as they want. They have a passionate moment on the couch after Johnny fetches firewood, not by chopping it himself, but from a wood pile. Editors have independently selected all of the goods and services that are listed. On the other hand, Soaps.com might get paid a commission for orders made through its retail links, and the retailer might get some data that can be audited for bookkeeping purposes. Thus far on Days of Our Lives, Sloane has done a respectable job of keeping nearly everyone in the dark about her pregnancy with Nicole's child. She can only sustain this for so long, though. In Salem, secrets are never truly hidden, but that hasn't prevented anyone from attempting to hold on to them. However, Eric learned that the rent was past due at the end of last week, and spoilers indicate that he will be speaking with Sloane tomorrow, Wednesday, April 10th. And he is curious about the specifics of their financial situation. What's wrong with that? Leo, Jude's godfather, is receiving all of this information while threatening to keep Sloane silent about the baby theft. Sloane is certainly not alone if, after all these time, she still gets sad because she doesn't pay her rent. That is, after all, how the federal government ultimately apprehended Al Capone, by not paying taxes. But will Sloane actually be defeated by this? So far, she has avoided all other potential hazards. She'll undoubtedly come up with an explanation. Perhaps she will claim that she was unaware of how costly infant necessities are. Perhaps she will say she is attempting to follow up with a client or two who have not paid their bills. Hell, perhaps she'll argue that she overreached herself when it came to setting up funds for Jude's college expenses. The point is that, between the two of them, Eric is unquestionably the one with baby brains. As long as he doesn't immediately demand proof for whatever it is she's claiming, we're sure that she and Melinda will be able to find a way to account for the money. It is possible that this will provide Sloane with the necessary leverage to get Leo to reduce his rate of blackmail. If discovered, she won't be able to pay. But whether baby brain or not, this might be Eric's last moment. He needs to start questioning whether there's more going on because of Sloane's strange behavior, Leo's overt clues, and the strange circumstances surrounding the adoption. Though it might not be immediately clear what that is, there's only so much that can accumulate until Eric begins to piece it all together. Sloane might just have to pay the landlord for the time being, but eventually she might also have to pay the piper. And by then, no amount of money in the world will be able to save her.